4 steps of selling or capitalizing a business. We've dug into some of the components of this process, some of the different variables, a lot of the granularity relative to each of these steps, but from time to time, we always think it's good to reiterate the high-level perspective of what are the 4 primary steps of selling or capitalizing a business. So the first of these is narrative. And that is, what is the story of the business? What do they do? Who do they do it for? Why are they the best at it? What are the elements of the business that have already been undertaken to optimize the business? What are those that remain to be optimized? What are the elements of growth from a sales perspective that have been undertaken? What are the steps that, looking into the future, are available for future growth? And so, again, as we've said in prior videos, capturing the narrative of what has been there, where the business comes from, where it's headed, and what are the levers, pulleys, and gears throughout that process, that really helps crystallize the narrative and why the company is special, what makes it proprietary, what gives it an edge to, again, not compete on either price or the cost of capital. Those are the situations we want to avoid, particularly in the middle market and lower middle market. Second element is an audience. So who are you reaching out to? Why are they good fits for the company? Does this company either fit a gap in their existing portfolio? Is it a strategic add-on for geographical coverage or for a capital provider? Why is it provide a better return on investment or return on capital than other means of deploying capital may avail? And so, again, once you have the narrative, you have to figure out who the right audience is. And it's just as important to find the right parties as it is to avoid the wrong parties, because, again, this is the component, or this is the element of the process where much time can be wasted. And in our efforts, and we always like to have deals completed kind of 6 months start to finish, this is where a lot of ground can be gained and a lot of progress can be made. The third part would be the process in itself. And think of it more as kind of the winnowing process, the separating of the wheat from the chaff, as we like to say. And this is the component of the process of starting with kind of the top of the funnel of all prospective parties that may be interested in acquiring or providing capital to a company, and winnowing that down to who is the optimal counterparty. And so this entails lots of conversations up front, further information reviewing by those counterparties, receiving, organizing, and communicating of follow-up questions and follow-up information, both to and from the company, which we facilitate in a very organized and streamlined fashion, and then ultimately offers. And those oftentimes start in the form of a indication of interest and then progress to a letter of intent, depending on the scenario, the interest level, the sizing of the situation. There's a lot of variables that go into it. However, you can think of the third primary pillar of the process as the actual winnowing down of many interested parties to the optimal party for the situation. And then lastly is the diligence and the closing process. And this is oftentimes, I think, under-highlighted, if you will, by people, but it's very important. Like in any business, no deal is closed until it's closed. And so you work hard to create the narrative, you work hard to communicate it to the right people, you work hard to winnow that prospective audience down from many people to the singular party that would be the optimal person to move forward with, a firm or institution or whatever it may be. And then the last step being pushing that process from that point of a letter of intent to a closed transaction. There's a lot of work that goes into that. There's accounting, there's legal, there's sometimes technical diligence depending on the particular industry vertical that the company's in. And it's our job to continue to facilitate that forward, to clear all the hurdles that are necessary, to have the easy conversations just as well as the hard conversations, and to make sure that you get to that finish line. Because again, and there was an expression someone said, and not to be cynical, but whether you drown in the middle of the lake or you drown 5 feet from the other side of the shore, you still drown. And so we don't rest on our laurels. We don't celebrate anything too early. When the deal's closed, everybody's happy, whether that's capital or selling a business, that's good, and that's when we crack a smile. So prior to that, it's full steam ahead in all 4 steps of the process, with none being any less important than the other, particularly as you get beyond a certain point and you're working your way towards that ultimate closing or funding date. And so that's a thought for today, the 4 general steps of selling a business or securing capital. Hope everyone's week is going well. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see everyone next time.